The Beauty and the Bestiary, an analysis of Ray Elementary Community Garden.
We chose to collect specimens at the community garden connected to Ray Elementary School on 57th Street and Kenwood Avenue. We chose Ray Elementary Community Garden because we were interested in the type of invertebrate diversity present in a location that is frequently changing. Earlier in the quarter, students and community members of Ray Elementary worked on the garden almost weekly, so new species of plants were constantly being planted and removed. We wondered if the species we collected would have similar functions. Is there a certain type of invertebrate that we collected multiple times over multiple trips? And if so, what does it do? Vegetation. Grasses compose about 30% of the total vegetation in Ray Elementary. Broadleaf short plants make up approximately 35% of the vegetation. 47% of the garden is bushes, and angiosperm trees make up the remaining 15% of the garden's vegetation. The three most common plants in Ray Elementary Community Garden are short grasses, flowering bushes, and bushes with waxy leaves. Fauna. We collected 32 specimens on our trips to Ray Elementary Community Garden, and they came from 20 different species. We found 2 species of millipedes, 3 species of bee, and 3 species of ant. The species with the most abundance in our collections were the box elder bugs with 4 and the common pillwood louse with 3. Approximately 75% of the 32 specimens collected are of the class Insecta, and of those, approximately 40% are herbivores found on leaves.
Regarding invertebrate biodiversity around Ray Elementary Community Garden, close to 75% of the specimens collected were of the Insecta class. Arachnida and Malacostraca each made up 9.7% of the species, and Diptera and Millipedes each made up 3.2%. If we were to analyze our specimens with more specificity, the majority of the orders of our specimens are as follows: Hymenoptera with 31%, Hemiptera with 27.6%, Isopoda and Diptera tied at 10.3%, and Julida and Traumatiformes each with 3.4%. Herbivores make up 48.4% of our specimens. 22.6% are omnivores. Detrivores are 19.4%. The combined category of predators and detrivores are 6.5%, and predators finish out the list with 3.2%. Hence, each species of specimen we collected plays a unique role in the ecosystem that is Ray Elementary Community Garden. Of the 32 specimens collected by the group, a total of 12 were exotic, meaning that 37.5% of the organisms contained at Ray Elementary Community Garden are not native to North America. Of the exotic specimens, the majority had origins belonging to Eurasia and are generally speculated to have been introduced due to human interference. You can see by our graphs the percentage breakdown for each class, with Insecta coming out at the highest with 74.2%. Again, the breakdown increases, with the percentage for each order, with Hymenoptera having 31% and Hemiptera having 27.6%. The percentage for each family again shows the breakdown. However, there is no one such dominant class. However, Formicida at 15.4% and Rapidli having 15.4% as well are above average. The percentage for each organism function again shows the breakdown, with herbivores at 48.4% and omnivores at 22.6%.
We chose ecology as the focal point of our final project.
Next, the aspect that our group focuses on is the roles the most interesting organisms play in our environment. The first group we want to share is ants. We got 4 ants in 3 species in total, and they are all omnivores. The first 2 species are eastern black carpenter ants and odorous house ants. They both prey on many insect species, including aphids, and they also farm aphids, eating the honeydew that the aphids produce. Since we actually got some aphids in our samples, so there is this pretty interesting relationship between invertebrates in Ray Elementary Community Garden. Besides, both of them eat almost anything, including honey, tuna fish, hot dogs, and cookies, so they can actually clean food and trash left behind by humans. The third species in ants is small honey ants. For its ecological role, it contributes towards soil aeration when they build their nests. And they also consume flowers that drip sap, honeydew, rotting fruit, and waste from galls, earthworms, and arthropods. After ants, the second species we want to introduce is eastern box elder bugs. They are herbivores. We got 4 eastern box elder bugs in total, and they are the most common species in our sample. The nymphs feed on the juices found inside the seeds of host plants, and others eat the leaves, flowers, twigs, and seeds of host plants, but they do not cause harm to the trees or the environment. They are also prey to some grasshoppers, rodents, birds, and spiders. Besides, out-of-the-box other bugs are host to many parasites.
So the next organism we want to highlight is the common pill woodlouse. The reason we were initially interested in this organism was because it was the most commonly collected organism in our study that was exclusively detrivorous. However, our true fascination comes from its ability to bolster life in the garden. Just some background, its scientific name is Armadillium vulgare, but I will call it a pill bug from now on. Further on the background, as you can see, it's an isopod. The pillbug's first method of supporting life in the garden is by stimulating microbial activity in the soil. Pillbugs' eating habits, as well as their burrowing behavior, help release nutrients pent up within the soil, which are then recycled through the dirt and therefore the ecosystem. So in a community garden, this is really beneficial. Most interestingly, however, is the pillbug's ability to act as a host in certain worm life cycles. The pillbug can actually ingest the eggs of these worms, which are usually found in their feces, allowing them to hatch inside the pillbug's digestive tract. This not only bolsters the worm populations, but increases the benefit that the worms bring to the ecosystem. So the next organism we want to talk about are the whirligig mites. Again, we were initially drawn to this organism because it was most commonly collected organism, which was exclusively a predator. Just some background on the organism, its genus is Antistisis and is an exclusively female species, so it reproduces via parthenogenesis. Being a predator, it primarily feeds on other smaller organisms such as mites, leafhoppers, and a plethora of other smaller organisms, some of which are classified as pests. The consumption of pests is how the mites truly contribute to their ecosystem. This predation helps bolster vegetation, and these mites in particular are well known by agricultural workers as crop protectors. Beyond this, the decomposed exoskeletons and feces of these mites contribute to nutrients to the soil and bolster its overall health.
We hope this video helped you learn a little bit about the different types of species that are most common and interesting at Ray Elementary Community Garden. Thank you for watching!